this brush. See how this one works. Ooh, it's really stiff. I'm going to use the one that fell off. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Yep, I'm live. Good. Alright. Now, what I want to show on this one is, well, let's see. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, well, I can't get the whole thing, but it's close enough. Besides, I'm only going to be working on this one just to show you. Anyway, so I might have to fucking stand. I was going to sit, but there's a lot of glare. So, guess I'm standing. So, anyway. What I've started doing is a little bit of, I mean, I'd like to call it a splash, but, you know, the water going upward. You know what I mean? So, it's, well, I guess you can call it a splash. I don't know what else to call it. So, and, I mean, let me see, I'm using 3 elements. I got black and white, which is gray. Okay. And I'm just going to do this portion right here, just a little bit. So I'm going to go right into white. And in order to thin it down, I'm going to be using 3 things to thin it down. I'm going to be using here we go, ready? Okay. In some parts of the country this is called liquid, in this country it's called stand oil. And, oh yeah, here we go, right there. Baby oil. And paint thinner, which in some countries is called white spirits, but hey, we're not in that country, right? So, I'm going to take stand oil. Yeah, let me see if I can show it to you. I don't know if I can, but let's see. Okay. This puddle is stand oil. This little puddle is baby oil. Okay, and then you got the white and the black. Alright. Yeah. And we'll take some of the stand oil. And I got a little gray right here. Okay, take the baby oil. And this has already got paint thinner in it, which is mineral spirits. Okay, take some more baby oil. Alright, and just a little bit of white. See that? There we go. Just a little white. If I tip my palette too much, all that oil is going to drip. So, and I got that. Okay, so now these are going to be a little brighter. I didn't use much white, and I threw it right in that gray that I already had. So now what I'm going to be doing, these will be brighter, but not by much. And when it dries, it'll darken, and then I can go back in. And the reason for the paint thinner, the 2 oils, okay, so that it dries faster. All right. So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna pull up like that. just here and there, not too many. Some thin, some thick. Like that. And all I did was pull up. I just, little line. And this is a number 2 round. Okay. Alright. So now, alright, let's see. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So I'll take my glasses off because I'm farsighted. So here we go. Start out with little tiny dots, and mainly what I want to do is go all along where the gray ones are. And I'm just, see, watch here. Here's my finger, right? All I'm doing, right there, is I'm going like this. Little tiny dots. Back up a little, go up a little. Doesn't want to focus. But it's just the slightest little touch. Okay. And I'm putting these right where the gray drips are. These are going to be a little brighter. And eventually I'm going to work to my brightest. And at that point I'll just be using paint thinner and white. But this is a mix of stand oil and baby oil with paint thinner. And what that does, mainly, it allows me to get really tiny dots. And for anybody wondering, if anybody does see this at all, the reason for the tiny little dots is because water has its own way of going with, so you get this pattern, like this. Watch, we'll start right there. Water has a pattern, and the closer together your dots are, the more they're going to be full. So this water will drip down that way, and then say it changes direction and goes this way. Alright, because water does its own thing. So yeah, that looks good. So now we'll do the same thing with this side. Make a little pattern. These droplets being bigger because they're coming right off the whale. These ones being smaller because they're going back down to the water. And we'll just go like this. And as I work my way down, the dots get more and more separated and smaller. Because as it gets into the gray, because I already got dots here, as it gets into the gray, it's just mainly highlighting the drops that are already here. Now this is a little time consuming, in case anybody wants to know. So, but I'm sure, this is my first time doing this, but I mean, I've seen pictures, so I pretty much have that in my head. Pretty much what I've seen. So let's say these ones fall like this. You know, you'll get your big falling ones. And then it'll break off. And much like that. So and like I said, I don't plan on doing every little drop. You know, just whatever I have here. Much like that. So I'll connect this and then dot it out. Connect that. Because sometimes you get these big pieces, you know, these big pieces of water that just don't separate enough to form droplets. But you can definitely form any design you want, really, you know, just as long as it's all gonna go that way. So, like I said, this is my first time doing droplets. I've actually never done whales before. This is my first time painting them. They're not done, they're just blocked in. I have to wait until they're completely dry in order for me to tack in all the detail to the whales. And these are humpback, by the way. I'm just letting you know. So, and just for say's sake, I do remember in one of the pictures that I saw, these are like steps. Up and connect there. So it's much like that. And then like this. See, because what it is, it's, you know, the underbelly. You know, and it's going to do these funky designs. Like that. Fill that in. Anyway, we had to do droplets. Not mess with the whale. So, let's see. So, you know what? I'm gonna roll a little bit of, let's see, he's pushing the water that way, so all this is going to go forward. So all this go rolling water, more or less like a cloud, I guess. I would describe it like that. But I'm leaving holes, and I'm just letting the brush hit the texture of the water, or the tooth of the canvas. So, you know, just like clouds, you're going to have your dark spots and you're going to have your light spots. But I'm rolling it this way. So it'll be like this instead of like this, because it's being pushed that way. So you want all the, when you do the droplets, you don't put them in the direction of the water. So and just kind of push that out like that. This is the water behind him. Push like that, I would think. You know, and then I'll be able to roll this way. Like that. Because then that'll look like it's being pushed. So, alright, back to droplets. So, I'm going to sit here and punch all this in. Just the ones that I want to do anyway. And then you got your separated ones out here. And then it would, some would wiggle down like that. And just put your droplets next to it. You can even put them on top as long as the paint is whiter than the little wiggly line going down. And these can be very, very tiny. And then you got some that are, you know, more spaced out. But then they come together because they're all going to hit the water. And down here you can just tap like this. Because this would be all the splashing. That. I mean, I guess instead of pulling up, maybe let's do one right here. So let's say you got these little drips, they're coming down, and then connect them a little bit, and then get real full down here. Like that. Yeah, I guess you could do it either way, you know, but you know, you can do them both ways actually. And then the bigger drops are going to be the one in front of here, all the way down here. Like that. Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. So, and I don't want to overdo this because you could. Try not to, because it will, I mean, the more space that you have around the drips, I think looks more natural. You know, I mean, you can always come back in here with a gray, or even a blue, very, very light blue. Make sure it's blue, because then you can see the contrast in color, and go in between all the white, you know, and then you kind of give it, you know, the reflected look of the water or the sky or whatever. You know, different colors do different things, you know, like doing a bubble. You know, if you were to do a bubble, say underwater, you know, the first thing you have is the white outline, because that is the light. that's hitting the bubble from all sides, because the light's bouncing off the bottom and it's coming from the top and it's bouncing off whatever's around it. And then after that you have color, whatever the colors are under the water, say coral or fish or, say a rock or something, and then you would add those colors into the bubble. Not that you'd be, actually putting coral in the bubble. You wouldn't do that. Just the colors, because the colors is what reflects off, and then you would distort the color, bending it in the way of the bubble. So but water flows any which way it wants to, and it will find the easiest path. I guess that's why Bruce Lee says, be like water. So, have a few bouncing off of here, connect it to there, make it come off again. Little tiny ones in between. And then it comes down like this. I'll end up making that brighter because the trees are here. So make it a little more full by adding more white. Right on the tip of the fin. And then, separate it as it goes into the darker part. And then just go down. Straight down. Like that. See? Looks nice and natural. Now, over here, okay, we have the whale pushing the water out because the water's splashing off. So little droplets are going to go off the way. Now later, I'll be able to put water going this way, coming off of the body once this is dry and detailed and everything else. So that's why I'm only doing the outside of the whale. So, I mean, that really didn't take that long, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe you timed it. I don't know. So, that actually looks really good. And then you're going to have, even outside away from the whale because of the splash, you'll even have some that come right out here. Bigger ones like this. Just like that. And then what you can do is thin this down a little more in one spot. I meant the paint on the palette. And with the real thin stuff, you'll be able to make the little ripples that come off of here, you know what I mean? Just wiggle it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing I do has to be perfect, because there is no such thing as perfection. See that? And then the ripples would go, and your brush is going to run out of paint, so let it run out of paint, because then you get lighter and lighter. Pull that and that and that. See? Now you got some more drip action right there. And then you can have some droplets like this. See? Like that. if you're real bold, you can try to make the water splashing. But do this with really, really thin paint or almost no paint on the brush. There, and you can pull across again. This is how you do, anything in water. You're going to notice, and I don't care who paints it, you're going to notice that you go side to side with water because water is a surface. Excuse the company upstairs. My wife's got company. Yeah, and you can, go all over the place with it. It doesn't have to be straight up. You can make it go off to the sides. Because that's what water does. It hits the water and it splashes out. Like a drop of water in a cup. It'll splash out. So I haven't seen many videos because I do subscribe to a lot of artists myself on YouTube. As artists, we gotta stick together. But I really haven't seen many do this kind of, water drippage. So I don't know. I'm just keeping in mind in my head what I saw. As far as who's this? Who's this? Oh. Oh, that's the lady with the babies and the flowers and everything. Yeah, hey, how you doing? Let me wave at you. There we go. So, yeah, I don't know how long you've been sitting there, listening as I ramble. Usually there's nobody on here. So, so yeah, so back to what I was saying. There's not too many artists on YouTube, doing water and actions of it. They're doing waterfalls and they're doing still lakes and stuff, and but they're not doing like movement. Something popping out of the water and showing you which way that the water is going to fly. It's one thing if you smack the water and then it bounces out, but these things are shooting out of the water. Except for this one, because whales, they're very graceful when they go in the water. The only thing you really see are the drips coming off of the tail. So, what do you think so far? Does it look natural? And these are humpback whales. I had somebody ask if they were orcas because of the colors. There's no detail on them yet, but because of the color, they asked if it was an orca. And no, they're not. They're not orcas. So, but that's the gist of doing droplets. Now I'm gonna work on the ones that are flying off. So let's see if I can grasp that. So if you got water going this way, so the water's pulling down this way, but the head of the whale pushes and splashes that way because it came out first. So we're going to push all that way. So I would think you could do some wiggly lines. As long as the droplet is first and then you wiggle like that. And then as the brush goes this way, it becomes thinner, you know, the brush stroke. So you start with a dot, and then you go wiggle this real lightly, so you get a nice fine point. And then more paint. And we'll do these dots here. And I'm actually going to pull a lot of them like that. So now, in case you probably did, but I'll say it again. I mean, you can watch the beginning of the video. Oh, the person left. Okay, well, you can watch the beginning of the video. And find out what I did to the paint to get its consistency. I was going to say it now, but there's nobody there to say it, so. So. It actually doesn't look half bad. It actually, you know, it looks like it's going that way, but it's going that way. So we're going to come out with it like that. Like that. And then tiny dots, dot, dot, dot. I mean, these are really random, you know what I mean? So. And I would think that the drops, some of the drops that are being pushed that way, seeing how it came out of the water first, would be bigger. It'd be bigger drops. Some would be bigger and more prominent. So we're going to paint them that way. And like I said, you can connect some and make some more sporadic, make them tiny, make them big. I mean, these are just droplets. I mean, they're gonna go which, hopefully, in the direction you want it to. So, but that's nice. The lady with the baby pictures. What's her name? Culture Photography. There you go. Yeah, look that chick up. She does pretty good photography. I mean, it's amazing the things that she can do. I mean, if I had any more babies or whatever, I'd probably go see somebody like her to do something unique to them. I mean, ultimately, that's what she does. So, a little shout out to that woman. You know, and then probably when this dries, I'll be able to go in there with pure white, probably a little bit of blue, a little bit of light blue. Probably not too much in this area, but right in the darker blue area and up in here, wherever there's dark areas, I'm going to go in with some light blue. And then, but on the whole thing, this little water design, that's why I didn't do too much to it, because I'm going to go back in there again with regular white. So just pure straight white. And on that note, also oh God. All right. So that's pretty much the gist of the video. I'm just gonna do this and alrighty. So I'm gonna continue doing that, and y'all have a good one.